Welcome to Heart to Talk, the podcast. I am the host and creator, Theresa Cesare. My intention for this podcast is to deliver to you wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness through solo episodes and conversations amongst insightful people. It is my greatest honor to bring to you talks that come from the heart. Welcome, beautiful souls, to Heart to Talk. Whether this is your first time listening, you've tuned in a few times, or you've been on this journey with me since episode 1 back in July of 2020, I just want to thank you for being here with me today. I also feel like this is an energetic, mutual space. Even though I don't see you in real time, I truly feel you. I love hearing from you. So if you ever have a question or a topic that feels aligned with the vibe of the show, please reach out. You could DM me on Instagram or email me. My contact information is always in the show notes, as well as at my website. Your heart, your stories, and your curiosities really help me shape this space. If you've been here a while, you know I take inspired action on everything I do. Sometimes I have episodes fully planned in advance and pre-recorded because I get some momentum. And sometimes, like today, I record in very real time. I don't like to force topics. I follow my heart. Today, I'm inviting you into something I am actively navigating and transforming. And that is breaking up with judgment, healing that behind the scenes inner critic, and then taking that healing into the relationships that matter the most. Your kids, your partner, your family, your closest friends. Recently, I attended a vocal reset mastermind, an intensive workshop with the incredible Jam Gamble, who is actually on the podcast as well. You can listen back to her episode, which is episode 123. I went in thinking, okay, this is awesome. Like, what a great opportunity to invest in myself. I mean, I use my voice all the time, right? On the podcast, on Instagram, when I get invited to speak, on the news, and in the commercials. I should invest in my voice, especially because there are some more next level opportunities in which I haven't done a ton of, that is like speaking on stage and giving keynotes. So it felt like so empowering to pour into myself and be in that space with such powerful women. No regrets, but definitely what I was surprised is that I actually came back with something even deeper than vocal techniques and tips on how to be an empowered speaker. What really shifted was my awareness of my inner voice. You know, that inner critic we all have, that's not actually our true self. But what I realized that I often feel safe only when I can polish, edit, and present a clean version of myself. Not to say that I'm always chasing perfection. I'm chasing that feeling of safety that comes from having my work approved. Where I still get challenged, though, is in those unscripted, real-time moments. So, for example, like small group introductions, just similar to the vocal reset I went to, right? It was a small, intimate group where it was not scripted, not planned. I didn't know what to expect. And I noticed I get really uncomfortable where I'm not prepared, right? Being called on to share off the cuff, you know, those go around the room and tell us about your story situations. My body literally goes back to that version of me back in school, you know, elementary, middle school, high school. And that's where my inner critic loves to speak up. And it's interesting because I didn't realize it because I hadn't been in those situations for so long. I'm in control settings where I have scripts, right? Again, everything is scripted, written, polished. You can't mess up when it's already given to you, or I get to create it and then edit it. So anyways, as I sat with all of this after the vocal reset, which was a couple Saturdays ago, I began to ask, where is this coming from? Why do I feel like I always need to edit myself to be acceptable? And that's not even of an audience. This is like even behind the scenes, right? There are very few people in my life where I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to edit anything. And it's like no judgment. But anyways, when I asked myself, why do I feel like I always need to edit myself to be acceptable? A memory came back from when I was about around third grade. My friend Dina and I made a Valentine's card for my grandma. And I remember being so excited and proud of this card that we both like co-created. And she did one side of it and I did the other. And so we gave it to her and she looked at it, right? And then she looked at one side and said, "Who did this side?" And I was like, "Me?" And she's like, "That's so ugly. You need to go write better. Your handwriting is very ugly." And in that moment, my natural expression, something I created with love, not even overthinking, right? Just like automatic, like not even thinking, right? Suddenly felt wrong, rejected, and all of a sudden I didn't feel safe. A part of me froze. I started to internalize the belief that what comes out of me naturally isn't good enough unless it's fixed, rehearsed, learned, practiced, studied, edited, or approved. Over time, that belief became an inner voice. Don't say that, it's not good enough. Make it prettier, cleaner, more expressive. Don't speak until you have it perfect. And so I tend to not put myself in situations where I have to speak off the cuff, right? So over time, I learned to either over edit or just stay quiet. And I'm someone that it's really hard to stay quiet. I feel like expressing myself, my voice, even if it doesn't make sense, feels like it's what my soul needs to do. I love the intimacy of expression and I feel like that is how I feel like my soul can be understood. And that's what this podcast has been able to do for me is allowed me to express that soul level version. Sometimes it is unedited, but other times I can polish it, make it perfect. Because here's the thing, excellence is still my brand. I do believe it's important to care about what you produce and what you create, but not to where it doesn't allow your authentic power to come through, your authentic voice. So I learned either to over edit or stay quiet. I'm not sharing this to make anyone wrong or to be mad at my grandma or anybody or to live in victimhood. I'm sharing this because we can't heal, overcome a block if we're not willing to see it or don't even have the clue, right? Because sometimes it's not like you're not willing, you just aren't aware. And so the most powerful way to change is to first acknowledge the pattern and say, oh, I remember where this started. That's the script I picked up. And now I'm allowed to write a new one. And so now I want to talk about actually breaking up with self-judgment and healing that behind the scenes voice. I've got a 4-step process I'm going to share with you, okay? So the number one is just name the pattern. The first step is simply noticing when the inner critic shows up. Maybe it sounds like, that's ugly. You're not ready. Who do you think you are? Or everyone else is better than you. Or you have to study more. You actually have to be a professional, get a certification for this. Or you can't do this alone. You need to bring someone with you because alone isn't good enough. Bring some gentle awareness there. And tell yourself and notice like, oh, this is my inner critic. This is not my true self. Number 2, remember, try to locate where it came from. Usually that voice was formed in childhood, in school, or in early relationships, moments where we felt embarrassed, shame, or dismissed. Our nervous system decided, I won't feel that pain ever again. So that critic is just trying to protect us, right? But it just does it in a harsh, unhelpful way. Number 3, introduce self-compassion to yourself. When you catch the critical voice, you can pause and say, this is a moment of self-judgment. I'm not alone. Nothing's wrong with me. So many people feel this way. And I'm actually going to choose to be kind to myself right now and just love yourself. 4 is affirm a new story. Again, this is why I love affirmations because you literally can rewrite, flip the script that's on autopilot. So we affirm a new story. What I like to do is, again, bring in that self-compassion and calm your nervous system down. The best way to do that is when you regulate your breath and you could place your hand on your heart or your throat and repeat, I'm safe to be seen as my authentic self. My voice is worthy, even when it's imperfect. I can't control how others perceive me, but I can honor my truth. What I share from my heart is good enough. When we keep coming back to these truths, the volume on the inner critics lowers, and then the volume on our true voice rises. So that's level 1, right? Is healing the behind the scenes inside voice. Level 2 is where it gets really powerful and honestly very vulnerable. Using our voice with those who are closest to us, our partners, our kids, our family members, our close friends. For me, this has looked like noticing all the ways that I used to soften or hide my truth, right? Just to keep the peace, to avoid disappointing others, to avoid looking like I don't have people's back, I'm not loving, I'm mean. I try to make everything look perfect so no one would worry or judge. But the truth is, the people we live with can feel when something is off. If you're having tension in your relationship, if you're stressed out about money or unhappy, if you're carrying unspoken resentment, your kids, your partners, those closest to you can feel that energy, even if no one is saying anything. Kids are especially powerful and sensitive. They read tone, they read silence, body language, and they often blame themselves for what they don't understand. So, for me, part of breaking up with self judgment has been using my voice to tell the truth of circumstances and just saying no as well in an age appropriate, loving way to my kids. So, like, it might be like, hey, kids, this month we're going to be more intentional with spending. I'm feeling a little stressed today. I have a lot that I'm handling, a lot of decision makings, and I just want you to know, like right now, I don't mean to not be present. Let me just kind of work through this. Actually, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just want to be honest so that you don't think that I'm mad at you or anything's wrong. So just communicating how we're processing. And there's a difference between oversharing and honest, grounded communication. You don't have to give every detail. You don't have to dump adult problems onto your kids. You can name what's real in a simple way, your way, so they're not left in the dark, feeling the tension, but never hearing the truth. That's you modeling emotional honesty and emotional safety. One of the most practical, beautiful ideas I'm bringing into my home is actually a monthly family meeting. I got this idea from my friend Maria Cochran, who actually went to the vocal reset with me, and we carpooled and drove to Scottsdale, Phoenix. So we're just talking about using our voice, right? And talking about family dynamics, personal, getting on stages, speaking, and all the things. But on our drive, she told me that her and her husband hold regular family meetings. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so brilliant. I mean, yes, update them here and there, but like just literally make it like, okay, guys, let's get together. Let's have a meeting. And maybe I've had in like one-on-one meetings with each kid. Okay, guys, like beginning of the week, this is it. This is our calendar. I've done that, but to sit down and hold space for our voices. We often assume everyone knows what's going on, but we rarely give each person a structured space to check in, share, and be heard. So a family meeting is a perfect way to model communication, normalize talking about logistics and feelings, and give everyone a voice at the table. So your family meetings can be literally super simple. Like my agenda is going to be simple, like check in, how everyone's feeling today. Like could be one word. Last month recap. How did we do last month? What were the wins? What felt hard? This month's logistics. Here's what's happening this month: school events, work stuff, travel activities, our goals and intentions. These are my goals of the month. What are yours? And just open the floor, right? And to see if anyone has anything they want to share, ask or request. And you can make it fun, right? Like having yummy snacks, candles, a talking piece that gets passed around when someone's, having their turn, a family playlist. I mean, the point isn't perfection. The point is consistency and safe holding space, right? For our voices to be shared, heard, and just communication, right? Because communication is so powerful. So my voice goal inside my family is to truly have that monthly meeting with the kids where we sit down and practice exactly what I talked about on the podcast: communication, clarity, and giving our hearts space to speak. So let's bring this full circle. Remember, start by healing the voice within, the one that tells us we're too much, not enough, or ugly in some way, not good enough, not worthy. We see where it comes from, we bring compassion to it, and then we write a new story. I'm safe to be seen. My voice is worthy. My expression, natural, authentic, is good enough. I'm good enough, just as I am. Then we take that healing outward. We use our voice with the people who matter most. We tell the truth about our circumstances and feelings in loving, age-appropriate ways, respectful ways with our partners without blame, victimization. We stop pretending everything's perfect when it's not, and instead we model honesty, resilience, and repair. And finally, we create intentional spaces like a monthly meeting or weekly, however that's going to fit for you and the dynamics. And again, not only in the family spaces, right? Some of us, our work family is our people, our family, right? Sometimes some of us live more at the office or in our workspaces more than our family. But again, like a monthly meeting where everyone has a microphone, metaphorically or literally, where everyone gets to say, this is how I'm doing, this is what I need, and this is what I'm excited about. That is how we shift from living with an inner critic to living in a home where voices are honored. I want to leave you with this statement that captures the heart of this episode. Your voice is not here to be perfect. It is here to be true. That's including your inner voice, the outer voice, the voice with a partner, with your family members, with your coworkers. And so the affirmation is, my voice is not here to be perfect. It is here to be true. As you move through this week, remember, you are safe to be seen, safe to speak, and safe to show up as your whole self in your work, online, and especially at home with the people you love. If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear what part landed for you the most. Maybe it's that childhood story or the idea of a family meeting or the reminder that you don't have to pretend everything is perfect and that you're okay with what is. Share this with someone who needs encouragement to use their voice. And if you try a family meeting or a whatever meeting, a partner meeting, or even one with yourself, please let me know how it goes. Can't wait to hear. And thank you again for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep listening to your heart and let it lead the way you speak, connect, live, and make decisions. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please download, rate, subscribe, and share this podcast. Also, be sure to visit my website at theresacesare.com to check out my inspirational merch, connect to my social accounts, and much more. May you continue to be filled with wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness. Otherwise, friends, I will be back for another episode of Heart to Talk.